become NEP ready, which means NEP is saying that we have to align with holistic learning and also skill-based learning, which is what we do from Skillioma's side. Before I start off, I want to show you something, which are the current problems, right? Problems of today's learning, traditional learning system, and how we solve those problems is what I would show you after this. So today we have a lot of rote memorization and lack of relevant learning. And we are also not focusing more on creative, cognitive, all the 21st century skills, including holistic knowledge and real world skills. And we are also lacking in terms of reading, writing, and speaking skills. And most of our students don't know which areas of interest they are most wanting to go into building their career, because they are not able to identify their own passions early on. And these are the fundamental 5 problems that Skillioma solves. And how do they do that? Is through this framework diagram. So this framework diagram also depicts holistic learning, which means, so I take any skill from here. For example, you take entrepreneurship skill. You will also learn surrounding skills from here, which is, we overlap the general awareness, which is the current events topics, and give those topics that are related to creativity, leadership from an entrepreneurial standpoint, and also overlap with business, marketing, even technology skills. That's how the real world is, and we bring that connection for these students when they are learning very seamlessly. And we also combine every single skill here with English language proficiency framework, which means LSRW skills are imbibed in them, along with pronunciation, comprehension, and vocabulary. And also all of 21st century skills are being imbibed and also tested as critical thinking question, challenge, or assignments that are graded by Skillioma's in-house mentors. We call them mentors, who are domain experts in that area, and they will be reviewing, assessing, and sending you the tracking reports for the schools. This is how we make it possible. This is built on 80-20 rule, which means the student will still be spending only 20% of the time, but they will be learning 80% of the lessons or gaining that knowledge that is required for the future. And after that, I want to show you the skills that we offer, subjects and skills we offer, except for English, which is also a core subject here. The rest of these are skill-based subjects, and they are offered from grades 5 and above, because these are all digital programs. And if you want something in textbook format also, that can be provided at an additional cost in any of these skills. There is also something called All Skills Program, flagship program, which means it actually embeds all of these skills at a personalized level. So you get, if you sign up for this program, you get all the 8 skills in one package, right? And these are all aligned to real world. The individual skills, if you take computers, for example, or artificial intelligence, these individual skills, some of these or most of these individual skills also align to CBSE vocational skills taxonomy, right? Based on their codes and the syllabuses. We align with them, but then we bring in our new content, fresh perspective, relevant learning, multidisciplinary learning, holistic approach, and real world learning into that content and framework and the learning process. And these are all digital programs. These are the services we offer. Primarily, as you have seen already, it's Digital NEP 2020 aligned content. We have our own LMS, learning management system, through which the students will learn. And these are all 21st century skills framework. We emphasize and we focus on that. And these are plug and play easy implementations for the school, which means the school doesn't have to have a teacher that is an expert level person in that area. Even if it comes to artificial intelligence, you don't need to have an AI teacher in your school. Rather, we would want some facilitator kind of a person that would be monitoring these kids in the labs, in the school labs. And we are also STEM.org certified, which is a USA accredited body. And you can see the trust marks here. And for high schoolers who are opting for higher college admissions, either in India or outside of India, foreign colleges, they can get this certificate, completion certificate from the USA governing accredited body, which is recognized in 80 countries around the world, which is highly coveted, right? A lot of people would want to have or earn that certificate. The criteria to earn this certificate is a little higher than the regular Skillioma certificate. So all of these programs come with completion certificate from Skillioma by default. Now I'll show you how the learning management system works. So this is our demo course. This is basically grade 9 financial skills, CBSE map, right? In terms of their syllabus. But how do we map it? I'll show you. So any skill you take, it comes by default with pre-assessment and post-assessment, and there is also mid-quiz wherein we can assess how they are doing in terms of learning, right, and progressing towards their learning. So you can observe this is Unit 1, which means Chapter 1, under which we have three lessons here. The first lesson is directly mapped to CBSE taxonomy. Again, just only the syllabus is mapped, right? Only the topic is mapped, but the content is done by us in-house. And then how to be smart with money, difference between money and currency. These are additional lessons that Skillioma does for the sake of holistic learning, which are very relevant to today's world. All of this content in what is money also will be very relevant. I'll show you. Now, the second one is the interdisciplinary content. If you go back to the curriculum, the second lesson, the second chapter is interdisciplinary content. For example, anybody that's learning financial skills, they also need to learn what is economy, inflation, because without the basics of economics, they cannot connect the dots, right? Because when we are learning in school, we are learning in linear fashion. We navigate from A to B to C to D. That's how we also test the knowledge of these kids. But when we go to real world, we are navigating from A to D back to C, and it's all like a maze. And we are trying to bring that connection, connecting these dots from an interdisciplinary content and learning standpoint. So that is why we also have blockchain technology, because if you're learning financial skills, you also need to understand that there is something called blockchain technology that is coming up, through which we have different currencies now, which are cryptocurrencies, right? And that's how we bring in. And the Unit 2, this is again, you can see optional. So if a school thinks it's overwhelming for their students, or at least to begin with, right? In the first year, if you think this is too much for them, we will add them the next year. The customization is possible. So it can be made optional for those kids that want to learn, and for those kids that doesn't want to or don't have the bandwidth, they can continue learning the mandatory lessons, doing the mandatory side. And this is Money Exchange Unit 2. Same way you will have Unit 2 disciplinary content, which is optional. Now I'll show you one lesson. So I'm picking up money exchange systems. Every single lesson works the same way, absolutely the same way. We call this multiple modes of learning, right? So because the child can learn from listening to audio feature, or by learning through the text, because it has a lot of pictures and it is written for the kids to learn, students to learn, not for the teachers to teach. It's mainly customized and written meticulously for their age level and grasp level, keeping their average grasp level in mind for that age level or grade level. So it's supposed to be learned by them, because we want to imbibe self-learning technique, which is again a 21st century skill, which will lead them to developing research skills. Now, you can observe these interdisciplinary links. So if a student is in money exchange systems and they want to go back to learning the basics of money, they can click on that link and it will take them to this one, right? And the same way, like the pattern in any lesson will be the same. And I hover my mouse over and you will see the meanings of these words. That is how we will build vocabulary in terms of context. So vocabulary cannot be by-hearted, as you know. We have to build them through a context standpoint, only after which they can use it in sentences and when they're speaking or writing, right? Now, I'll just show you how, this will read, right? It's a read aloud thing. So you can adjust the read and the pitch and the voice. I'll just ask it to read. And
thus, it is very important to understand money exchange systems. Before money, we had the barter system. Then we moved towards using coins, and then finally we reached the
So you can actually slow it down or increase the pace or use a different voice. And that's how it will highlight the word and read it for the students. Now I'll keep on moving. So these are the pictures that we use a lot in our lessons so that they can understand quickly and easily and relate to it. And if you observe here, CBSE unit on money exchange systems doesn't cover anything except for barter system. But if you observe, we cover cryptocurrencies and all of alternative currencies, which are used along with examples and in a pictorial form and a text form. So you can see what kind of cryptocurrencies are used and how they are used in these examples here. That's how we differentiate ourselves in terms of the content we provide. And I'm moving on. After everything, like if you observe even tax, right? So again, if I click on taxes, it will tell me what GSTs we have, It will overlap with current affairs, right? Current events. This is a current events topic. And you will see what is GST, why do you need to learn about it, and what will happen, how the calculations are done in each segments in today's, after the GST is imposed, right? Now I'll go back to this lesson. And in the end, you will have these words repeated. We call them index cards. So how they can actually, keep it in memory, use it in a context, and this can be used as a lesson plan or some kind of activity in school as well. By using these words, they can write sentences or use for speaking assignments, or just have a debate or something like that in school that can be used. And this is the video that I was talking about. So there is a video form as well of learning. So a student, although we encourage them to read, but if a student is not in a mood to read and learn, they can actually watch the video and learn the lesson, same content. So I'll just play it for you for a minute. You'll have an idea on how this works.
And here is why you need to know about to eating our favorite food. Without money, we cannot survive. Funny, isn't it? They see the basic needs of the man are food, shelter, and water. But somebody forgot to add money part to this list. Today, if you don't have money, you don't have anything. However, there is one question that no one has been able to answer in the history of mankind. How is this piece of paper has more value than a human life? Well, it is what it is, and here is why you need to know about this too. So
it will start with the context and then the examples and all. Once that is done, every lesson comes with a quiz and a puzzle game. So this quiz is gamified. So I give a right answer, it tells me it's right. If I give a wrong answer, it tells me this is wrong and also what the right answer is. And they can move on. And this is basically just to give them the boost of, motivation, a little bit of motivation for them to move forward. And this puzzle game uses the same words, the vocabulary words that we are identifying. Every lesson has at least 10 vocabulary words that are identified. And they have to solve it, right? They can pace it, meaning how fast they are able to do. They can restart it, but I'm going to solve it. So this is how once they solve, it will look like this. This is again a fun kind of learning in terms of both spellings, memorizing, and also remembering the meaning of the word. Now, once the lesson is completed, they'll go back to LMS and they will be doing their assignments, which are graded by us, right? After the student completes the lesson, he or she will come here through the LMS curriculum. They will complete the assignment. So every single lesson under every chapter, they will have an assignment which tests them on their 21st century skills and also LSRW skills. Now, as you can see, this is the assignment submission form, and the critical thinking question after the lesson, money exchange systems is which foreign currency is widely accepted in international travels and why is it so? The student can type, which means we're also testing on the typing skills and improving the typing skills as well. Or they can submit Word document, a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, PDF or a text file. Sometimes they will also be submitting us an MP3 file, which is tested for their speaking skills. They can actually read from a script, which is one way of testing their speaking skills and improving them. And the other one is an impromptu speaking skill that is also tested as part of the assignments. Once they choose the file, submit the assignment, it comes to us and one of our expert people will actually review and grade and send the reports to the school. And if you notice that the total marks is 10, the passing mark is 5. So as long as the student earns 5 marks, he or she will be passed. Now, if you observe if one of the submitted assignments, how the scores are represented, which you will also see in your report that you get to school, along with others like quizzes and other things. And this is how you will see that the student earned 7 marks out of 10 marks and the pass marks is 5. So the result of which is that the student is passed. And this is how the assignments are given, assessed, reviewed, and the tracking reports are submitted as per the agreement or the contract, whether it is bi-weekly, every 2 weeks, or every month. So the teachers are not necessary from the school standpoint to be an expert level teacher or to teach the students in any form. They will be definitely guiding the students. We will be giving in-teacher training, like school teachers training for free. And they can be guiding the students. If the student still has questions, they'll be submitting their questions through this Q&A forum, okay? So once you go to the financial skills course, you'll notice that there will be Q&A section through which the student can submit a question at any point in time, and we will pick up the question in the next 24 hours of business time, right? So they can submit any question here, type a question, and then post it for us. And that can be done via teachers as well. The teachers can also post questions and we can respond back, okay? This is how the grade book is, okay? So once they finish the course, they will be generating the grade book wherein it's detailed enough to understand how much they scored on the quiz, how much they scored on the critical thinking challenge questions, each question how much they have done, whether they have passed or failed. And in addition to that, we will also tell you how much time they're spending on each lesson, which lessons they are most interested in. And even if you take financial literacy, you can go to any of our sections here and they can read on their own and learn on their own for free as a bonus content. If a student is very, very interested in understanding other things, right? Even if they are not slated for like a grade 6 student, if he has the ability to learn grade 9 subject, they can also do that. And we open this up for free. And this also we will give you as a report, right? On the report, it shows, this student, particular student XYZ has gone through these and these articles. And this is the time he spent or she spent on this one particular category. That will give you an idea on how the student is interested or where he's gravitating towards. Let's say you give them the financial skills, but they are looking more into entrepreneurship skills. Then you'll have an idea, oh, they is more interested. That particular person is more interested in entrepreneurial skills as well. So those are the kind of reports we can generate for the school. And since NEP is saying you should give flexibility in terms of, offering different areas of learning for students, that will also help you with these subjects that you are giving flexibility as a school.